so much, everyone. So the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, the joint action of both organizations have made true to their promise of shutting down the nation by embarking on a nationwide strike. The industrial action comes after the treatment of the NLC president in Owerri, the Imo State capital, and the labor unions are asking the federal government to take decisive action, asking for making series of demands until their members took to different parts of Nigeria today to implement the order of the leadership of both organizations. Meanwhile, the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has been reacting to the nationwide strike, which perhaps will be something that the NLC had blamed the governor for instigating. And the governor says that action is politically motivated. Take a listen to Governor Hope Uzodinma.
The government of Imo State regrets any assault meted on the president of Nigerian Labour Congress, but at the same time condemn in its entirety the attempt by the president of Nigerian Labour Congress to take the leadership of Imo State for granted. He is one of us. He is from this state, elected as president of Nigerian Labour Congress. It should be an advantage to Imo State. I think I deserve that I should be informed, even by him, that he has been elected. Not even one visit, not even one phone call to the governor of the state. Rather, he come in here, he do nocturnal meetings with political opponents. That is not acceptable, and government must not be cowed by any non-state actor.
In many parts of Nigeria, schools, hospitals, government institutions are being shut in line with the indefinite nationwide strike order of the labor union. Let's get some perspectives on this one, the implication of of these on the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian state. I'm being joined tonight by a former presidential spokesperson and a political analyst, Laulu Akande. Thank you so much, Mr. Akande, for joining us.
Thank you, Shane, for having me.
Yeah. Are you surprised by what you see today, that there is a huge compliance by by workers and members of the labor union to that order that they should commence indefinite nationwide strike?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'm concerned that this is what we have to deal with at a time when there is tremendous suffering on the part of Nigerians, at a time when even the federal government itself is dealing with a fiscal crisis, among several other problems. There are more important issues that we ought to be dealing with today, at a time like this, not having to contend with the strike, which is essentially a distraction. But it's important. It's important to say that what happened to Mr. Joe Ajero in Imo State is criminal. You know, so you don't beat up people. You know, that's an assault on the man, and that's a crime. You know, so it's important for us to put that in perspective. You know, to say that, look, this is not right. You can just
and the question, some of the question they're asking is, bring those who did it to book.
Yeah.
Identify those who are involved. Yeah. He has alleged that some police officer, with some thugs, were involved, and he wanted them to bring it to book. Whether or not the Nigerian police force will take action, or the federal government or the state government of Imo State is going to take action, is left to be seen.
So they have to take action, and good a thing. I think the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Egbetokun, has already promised the nation, which is quite commendable. We must commend him for that swift reaction. He has said that this is going to be investigated, and appropriate steps will be taken. That's important. So that's my first point. Don't let us underestimate. Don't let us take the issue of somebody beating up anybody at all. Not the least the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. That is an unacceptable behavior. It's important to deal with it. But having said that, I'm not sure that punishing the whole country, for whatever it is that is happening in Imo State, I'm not sure that that is the right decision on the part of the labor movement. I'm not entirely.
What do you think would have been the option, another option, if they feel aggrieved and they are making demands of the federal government?
Yeah, because from what I've gathered so far, this is essentially a local issue. You had from the governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, to say that this is a local political issue. There are allegations that Mr. Ajero is partisan towards Labour Party and all of that he got involved in the stuff. So it seems, although I don't think we've had his own side of the story, whether indeed this was what happened. But indeed, we can say that this is an Imo State issue. So it will be more appropriate to deal with this issue in Imo State, not to now make it a national issue. I think it's a bit of a stretch.
So when this became a national issue, and there are those who have come out to even say, okay, yeah, the federal government needs to move quickly, not at the point where the nation's economy is on its knees, and there is no opportunity for any kind of lag or any kind of give way to any kind of opportunity for the economy to regress. Yeah. And those who say, for example, the labor minister, where is he? Samuel Lalong, where is he? Some say that he was in Geneva. Is it the right time to be in Geneva? There are those who have criticized to say he's nowhere to be found. He's not rising up to the occasion. At this time, there is a sense of seriousness in the manner in which the federal government is tackling, or does the federal government really feel the pains of the Nigerian people? I mean, the labor minister is supposed to be the one in front, leading in the front in this particular matter. Yeah, do they really care?
Yeah, I mean, I share those sentiments as to how the federal government ought to be in charge of issues. I mean, look, the reason why leaders are elected is to deal with crisis. That's a big deal in terms of the responsibility of elected political leaders. And so anytime there is a national crisis, all hands ought to be on the deck.
Because Mr. Akode, for example, if a labor minister, who we understand, went to Geneva, you heard that labor is threatening to shut down your country. You are supposed to be the intermediary of government and the labor, but you are nowhere to be found.
Well, let's hope that Mr. Simon Lalong is making his way back.
We understand that he just arrived today when it's almost late in the day. And the labor has gone on strike. They will start. We will just be restarting the economy after today, when some electricity companies are being shut. They're not government offices shut. State government workers are not going to work. The question is the kind of attitude for national issue. That's the question I'm asking you. Whether or not Mr. Lalong is rising up to the occasion.
Well, I wouldn't want to get into that because I've not really looked into, so I'm hearing for the first time now that he's actually not in the country. But don't forget.
I understand that he came back about today.
Yeah, so. But I think in terms of the arrangement, the structure, there are actually two ministers in that ministry. So where is the, Lalong
ministers of state? Where are they?
So it's important.
Who is speaking for the federal government? Who is talking to Nigerians?
Who is dealing with this? Because of course we had 1 week notice, from the labor movement. And I think everything comes down. Look, Mr. President just said it, that the buck stops at his table. So it's important for us to address Mr. President and say, look, Mr. President, fix this. We don't need this distraction. The nation has more important problems to deal with. We have a struggling economy. People are suffering. The last thing that people want to have to deal with is a national strike. We don't need this strike. And I believe that it can be sorted out as quickly as possible. I don't see a very big problem here.
Mr. Akande, there are those who believe that this is largely political. That there are possibilities. The percentage of political angle to it is huge. And this could, in fact, be behind closed door. People could sit down. This is about ego. This is about some issues that could be trashed out. without the nation, the whole country, the over 200 million Nigerian people having to suffer. Do you know if the street of Lagos on several streets, trains are shut, buses, those who are down to, I mean, things are just on the standstill. Yeah. Does it make sense?
A lot of inconveniences all over the place, you know, to put it very, very mildly. And you did say that, you know, there are insinuations, you know, or buzzes around the fact that this might be political. That's the reason why we have leaders. Our leaders are political leaders, elected political leaders, to solve political problems. You know, so just like you said, where are the labor ministers? You know,
are they not supposed to be talking to the country right now? Are they not supposed? Should they even have allowed the strike to start in the first place?
It would have been better for the strike not to have taken place. Yeah. You know, but we have to balance it. You know, like I said, the labor does have a responsibility. Now, is it entirely right to bring the entire nation on the knees, on our knees because of a local issue? Wouldn't it have been better to localize this thing in Imo? You know, that's for labor. But for government, starting from the president all the way down, this is something that can be sorted out with a simple phone call. A phone call from the villa to the labor leaders, we get them running to the villa. Look, this is not the first time that governments have to deal with the labor. And this is the kind of action that we need. We don't need any further delay. We need the president to get on the ball and sort this thing out. And he can sort it out very, very quickly.
This is the way, and I imagine those who are saying that when President Tinubu says, if you don't perform, you go. And the first true test of that post-mortem of that retreat they had is right here on our hands. Where the person that is responsible are the two ministers for labor. Yeah, where are they? So, are they talking to Nigerians? Are they speaking to the issues? Exactly. Why should labor be going on strike? Nigerians are suffering. The economy is in dire straits.
Yeah, and they should be talking. The minister should be talking to the labor, you know, and he should be talking to Nigerians. I understand that the Attorney General has actually gone to court to further emphasize the fact that this there's an injunction against the strike. You know, I've not checked what the law is, but I think yes, you have an Attorney General who is on top of the issue from his own side, and we wish that we also have the labor ministers also on the ball. But more importantly, is the president. It's the buck, as he has told us several times, the buck stops at the desk of the president. Mr. President, please fix this.
Laluakande, thank you so much indeed, because it's a chain. And if the president is doing his bit, other ministers are doing their bit, why is the labor ministry not doing? Why are they keeping mute and why are they not acting? Because this should not have happened in the first place. It shouldn't have happened. Nigerians are suffering. I hope people realize that.
Absolutely.
And this is compounding the problem of this country.
And we hope that...
And we're losing millions by the minute when this strike goes on.
Yeah. And I hope that this will be solved very quickly.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lalu, for joining us tonight.